Live team coverage this morning with crews monitoring road conditions in both Jefferson City and Columbia. We'll get out to them for the latest in just a minute, but first we are going to send things over to Storm Track meteorologist Kevin Schneider, who is continuing to track some light snowfall across mid-Missouri. Good morning, Kevin.
Yeah, good morning, Molly. And we've, for better or worse, enjoyed a little bit of a break here in terms of some of that accumulating snowfall, but this is starting to fill back in as we get into some of our southern counties. So we'll take another look here as we get a little bit closer to some of the action down around Camden County, Miller, and Marys County, seeing some of that snow already filling back in as we talk about some of that. And we'll put a pause on things and actually track this out as some of this is starting to fill off toward the north and east. Again, about 40 miles an hour or so. We'll be a little generous on that track. That brings it through places Crocker by 9:06, 9:07, into Lori, Warsaw by 9:14, 9:15 into Bagnall, and then Iberia by 9:17, 9:19 getting into Gravois Mills. So again, this is going to start to deteriorate some of those road conditions. Not that they're in any great shape by any means. I'm tracking how much of this snow we're going to be adding on coming up here in my first full forecast.
Thank you, Kevin. And continuing our team coverage this morning, we have crews monitoring road conditions in Columbia and Jefferson City, so you know what to expect if you do have to head out the door. We're going to start with ABC 17's Zach Boetto, who has been out in Columbia. And Zach, you talked to road crews in Boone County who say they're using a mix of salt and sand.
Molly, exactly, because it's so cold out here, they said they have to use that mixture of the salt and sand because just the salt alone will not do anything to the snow that's on the roads and the ice that's on the roads, so they decided to put that mix into work. Now we're here on West Nipawng Boulevard. That was the Sinclair roundabout, and as you can see, the snow is pretty much covering the roads here, or partially covering at least. Since our early morning newscast, the snow has stopped, but now that snow and ice is really packed into that road. Now, because the temperatures are so cold, officials are warning that it's extremely dangerous if you get stuck on roads out here.
And if you're sitting out there for 30 minutes or an hour or longer, you could literally die. And it's something that most people don't really think about, but these are pretty drastic situations.
And Molly, a lot of these side roads are pretty sketchy over here in Columbia, but we are going to go check out the highway coming up a little bit later in the newscast, so stay tuned. Reporting live from Columbia, Zach Boetto, ABC 17 News.
Thank you, Zach. And Columbia Public Works says it had another plow crew report at 7 this morning to focus on first, second, and third priority routes. Officials also say we are at just under 2 inches of accumulation, with some more expected. When it snows more than 2 inches, you have to move your car off of any designated snow route, or you could be fined $100. And ABC 17's Chanel Porter has been driving around Jefferson City to check out the roads there. And Chanel, MoDOT seems to be reporting even worse conditions in the capital city than in Columbia.
Molly, MoDOT's traveler's map has these roads in Jefferson City marked as covered, and rightfully so, as the snow has started to ease up a little bit since earlier this morning. It is still hard to treat these roads because of the frigid temperatures. As you can see at the connector of highways 54 and 63, these roads are still mostly covered. As I drove around, these roads were covered and the side streets were even worse. A spokesman for Jefferson City Public Works told me that they had their whole 24 crew plow team report this morning at 4 a.m. But with more snow on the way and the fact that the chemicals are unaffected, they do not expect much change throughout the day. And they are advising people to stay off these roads, but they also have staff out making sure that parking lots and city-maintained sidewalks are cleared off. Live in Jefferson City, Chanel Porter, ABC 17 News.
All right, thank you, Chanel. And we are going to bring up that MoDOT traveler map for you just to show you how bad it is across the rest of the state as well. You can see the southern half of the state is mostly purple, meaning roads are completely covered, while a lot of the northern roads are blue, meaning they are partly to mostly covered. While many schools are already out for President's Day, we have had a few cancellations into our newsroom overnight. The University of Missouri will have remote